Hey guys, Coach Jason. So, the last video I put out was my all-time greatest American women's cross-country team. Okay, team that I assembled with in our present and past history of who I think would be the greatest American cross-country team that I would put up against any world team at any point in time in the World Cross Country Championships. Today I want to do the men. All right. So if you haven't seen that other video and you want to see it, click the subscribe button. And you'll have access to my videos. If you want to see other training videos from 5K to 10K to cross country to half marathon to marathon, fully detailed 12 to 16 week programs, click that subscribe button as well. You'll have access to those as well as other training videos as well, in terms of training in bad weather, hill training, speed development for distance runners and marathoners, a running specific stretching routine. I am a USATF track and field coach, but I'm also a Wharton certified flexibility and musculoskeletal therapist. So not only is helping people run fast and coaching people a priority, but keeping them healthy along the way is a priority as well. So I would encourage you to take a look at that. And if you're going to watch any of my videos, please watch them from beginning to end so you don't miss any important detail. I explain everything from beginning to end. I don't give you, there's no secret workouts. I lay out the whole entire thing that you can use as a template and modify into your own, but at least gives you a guide. And I have other videos on there as well, so I think you'd enjoy. But today, I'm going to put out my all-time greatest U.S. men's cross-country team, who I would put up against anybody in the world. Okay? And let me know what you think of this list. But here we go. In no particular order. That's just, this is my team. Okay, because at any point in time, any one of these guys could be the top runner. You know how it is in cross-country. Your 1 through 5 could be your 5 through 1 on a given day. So, with that said, number 1, Pat Porter. Pat Porter is the greatest American cross-country runner ever. He was a 3-time world cross-country champ, a multiple-time USA cross-country champ. And if you've seen the movie Without Limits with Steve Prefontaine, or about Steve Prefontaine, remember the guy Lasse Viren who won the 10K at the Olympics? That's Pat Porter playing Lasse Viren in the movie. That's actually him. Okay? He did a good job. Number 2, Steve Prefontaine. If I had an opportunity to pick one person who I would want on my cross-country team, I would want Prefontaine. Okay, he's not only the most beloved American distance runner in history, and he's to this day, and he's a rock star and the gold standard, at least in my eyes, for American distance running. He epitomized what's best about the sport too. He even called out corruption, but he was out there pushing himself to the limits, and he's one of the most not only decorated but memorable runners I've ever come across, and you would probably likely come across as well. He's my number 2. He was also American record holder in high school for the 2-mile, 3-time NCAA cross-country champion, and multiple times NCAA champion, 3-mile, 5K, 10K or 6-mile. He's just decorated beyond belief. But he's got to be on my team. Number 3, Adam Goucher. I mean, another one of the greatest American distance runners. He was one of the guys that reminded me of a modern day Prefontaine. Just blue collar, worked hard, pushed himself to the limit, and he was a Foot Locker champ and an NCAA cross country champ. Okay, he, like Prefontaine, came very close as a freshman, but just came up a little bit short to winning the cross country title. But he was a 4-time cross-country All-American. He's also he was a very close to sub-13-minute 5K guy. He was also a multiple-time USA cross-country champion of long and short courses when they used to have both distances. And his 6th place finish in the World Cross Country Championships was the highest American placing in decades. And he had the NCAA 3K record at 7:46, was a sub-4-minute miler as well. So if you want somebody with range and somebody who was a consistent performer who always showed up when you needed it the most, Adam Goucher. Okay. Number 4, a Michigan guy who also went to Colorado and trained under the same coach, Dathan Ritzenhein, another modern-day Prefontaine. Pushed himself to the limit. He was a multiple or back-to-back Foot Locker champ and an NCAA cross-country champ as well. He was part of the greatest, at least in my opinion, the greatest Foot Locker race in history when he beat Alan Webb and Ryan Hall in the same race. That was 1, 2, 3. I remember that race. That race was epic. And he's run a bunch of other epic races. He's also a 12:58 5K guy. and still coaching and still competing to this day. But tough as nails, another consistent performer, and he would have to be on my team. Number 5, Edward Cheserek. To this day, the most decorated collegiate runner in NCAA history. I think he was close to 20 NCAA titles. He was the only person, to my knowledge, to win multiple Foot Locker champs and multiple NCAA cross-country champs. Okay, and I think he's a 17 or 18-time NCAA champion, not just All-American, but NCAA champion. And he came close to winning 4 cross-country titles. He had 3 of them. So he is one of the few. I think Henry Rono and Steve Prefontaine and Edward Cheserek were the 3 guys to win 3 NCAA cross-country titles. And you know how hard it is to win 1. You win 3. I mean, that's, aside from the World Cross Country Championships, NCAA Cross Country Championships is pretty darn close. And again, a consistent performer. And still to this day, I think the American record holder, or the national high school record holder indoors for 2-mile and 5K. Number 6, Frank Shorter, Olympic gold medalist in the marathon, but also one of the most decorated American cross-country runners ever. And he had range from 5K all the way up to the marathon. Consistent performer. He'd be one of my guys, one of my longer distance guys, who was very, very competitive at the international level. That would have to be on my team. And number 7, Jerry Lindgren, the only guy, or one of the only guys to beat Americans, I should say, to beat Steve Prefontaine in NCAA cross country. Pre was a freshman. Lindgren came in first. Pre was third, and then I think Donald Walsh, maybe from Villanova, came in second. But it was at the Herald at Van Cortlandt Park in the Bronx, New York. But Jerry Lindgren was known for his training methods and work ethic, and he ran up to 200 miles a week for a long period of time, and even went up to 350 miles a week for a certain period of time, which is insane. But he was also multiple NCAA All-American and champion, and All-American and record holder in high school and college, and was competitive at the international level as well on the track and cross country. So he's one of those guys that won on my team as well. Now, my 4 alternates, these are guys that could easily be up here. Number 1, George Torres, or Jorge Torres, part of the Torres brothers from Wheeling, Illinois. He was a Foot Locker champ and an NCAA cross-country champ, multiple times All-American in cross-country and track at the high school and collegiate level. He had one of the most historic seasons at course records his senior year at almost every course he ran before winning the NCAA cross-country championships. And he was always one of those guys that was consistent and showed up when you needed it the most. So he would have to be on my team. And again, he could easily be up here. I would personally love an 11-man team, or an 11-woman team, but they don't score that way. Number 9, Craig Virgin, all-time great U.S. cross-country and track, one of the most decorated long-distance runners and cross-country runners, multiple USA cross-country championships. He's another one I want on my team, one of those guys with range. Okay, and I mentioned this in my women's video about having range. I mean, Cheserek had range, like ridiculous range, 349 miler all the way up to cross country. Okay, I think having 1 or 2 or potentially 3 middle distance runners who are really good at cross country and have range are vital to a successful cross country program. It doesn't have to be that way. It's just I would love to. If in a perfect world, I'd love to have 2 or 3 of them on my cross country team. Okay, I wouldn't want to be there trying to outkick Cheserek with 400 meters to go if he's there on you, and I would be nervous. Or with somebody like Galen Rupp, who's my next guy, another NCAA cross-country champ, almost won the Foot Lockers as well. He was also very decorated, had one of the most epic years, an NCAA athlete, winning the 3K, the DMR, the 5K, multiple champion. He was an NCAA champ on cross-country. He's also a 26:46 10K guy, Olympic silver medalist in the 10K, Olympic bronze medalist in the marathon, so his range is also incredible as well, and one of the most decorated American distance runners in history. He's got the American record holder in the 10K, and one of the few multiple Olympic medalists on the American side on the distances, on the male side. So he's another guy you could easily put him up on there as well. And he's also successful at the USA cross-country level as well. And last but not least, Alan Webb. He's another one with range. I would not want to be next to him with a quarter mile to go. In my last video, I mentioned somebody on my women's team who was similar to Alan Webb. he's a 143 half miler, American record holder in the mile, 346. Okay, he's close to sub 13 for 5K. He was a 27:30 10K on his first try, and he beat a lot of the top American 10K guys. He was a Big Ten cross country champ. He was only in college for a year, but he was an All-American cross country. And I have no doubt that had he stayed in college another year or two, he would have probably been NCAA cross country champ as well. I have no doubt in my mind about that. But he's, to me, one of the most versatile and most dangerous runners in history. From 800 all the way up to 10K and even further, he had cross country, and he was part of that most epic Foot Locker cross country race ever. I mean, he could have won. Ritzenheim could have won. Brian Hall could have won. Brian Hall, 204 marathoner as well. Either one of them could have won, but that to me was the greatest cross country race ever. And this guy's done some other ridiculous, out of worldly things in terms of negative splitting races and stuff like that. So he's one the best middle distance runner in American history, in my opinion, with the most range. He's got Saeed Owita type range. But, and I say this about my women's team, if I looked at the team, with the U.S. jerseys, and I saw these guys lined up on the cross-country course, I wouldn't want to run against them. Yeah. This is a legit team, and this is, you have your Kenya team with Cameron Warren, Paul Turgat, and John Ngugi, and some of those other guys, but this team frightens me. Okay? It frightens the hell out of me. And to me, I think it's a collection of the greatest American cross-country team ever. And if I'm missing somebody, and I likely am, please put it in the comments down below. Let me know what you think either way. If you enjoyed this, please click the like button. If you want to see more videos like this, please click the subscribe button and the bell next to it. Aside from training videos and stuff like that, I want to do fun stuff like this too. Because this is kind of cool. I want to put up my best. I want to put up my my all-time 4x4, my all-time 4x8, my all-time DMR, stuff like that. My all-time 4 times a mile too. I'm going to do those as well. But I wanted to start on cross country since we just finished cross country season. So, and I do think some of the best cross country runners translate to the track and translate to the road extremely well, which is why I hope more Americans will run cross country moving forward in the future. So, anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. Happy holidays. Be healthy. Train well. Talk to you next time.